Okay, so welcome to our webinar this afternoon, or the morning, wherever you are, where we're going to discuss how some of the world's Fortune 500 companies have been able to reduce their alarm response times by up to 60%. We're joined today by Ger Carton, Planquest Managing Director. The event or the webinar will be about 20 odd minutes, 20-25 minutes, and there will be a Q&A session at the end. So if at any stage you have any questions, please feel free to drop them into the comments below, and either myself or Ger will pick them up at the end. So I suppose over to you, Ger, to get things started.
Okay, thanks a million, Crevan. My name is Ger. As Crevan said, I'm the MD with Planquest. We work a lot with companies like yours, helping them to optimize their emergency response times. So I'll just give you a quick brief introduction to myself. So got about 20 years working in mining, oil and gas and pharmaceutical sectors, primarily working with fire and gas and safety systems, like your shutdown systems, your blowdown systems as well. Spent a lot of time navigating around sites in times of emergency or events, looking for the right asset that's alarming in order to remediate an incident. And latterly, in the last few years, I've been working with ERT and emergency response teams, helping them to make sense of these complex safety systems and how their understanding of these can improve their business continuity in terms of emergency response times and training as well. So a quick agenda today. So first of all, we'll look at why efficient alarm response time matters. It's self-explanatory, but it's worth putting a bit of science around it. We'll look at the challenges that large sites like yours face. As I said, I've spent a long time working on mine sites, LNG sites, offshore facilities, and pharmaceutical plants. I know the complexities of these sites and what that brings to emergency response as well. I'll look at Planquest, the product that we've created in order to help you navigate around your site in an optimal way and expedite your alarm response times. We'll look at the current way of doing it and what we bring to the table. And then we'll look at a demo of the Planquest system itself. The demo is actually really interesting. It shows how it works in a real world scenario. After that, we'll do a bit of a deeper dive on some of our clients and a case study. And then finally, we'll look at how long it will take you to see the benefits. So what a Planquest deployment looks like for your site. Spoiler, it takes about 5 weeks only, and it can be done fully remote. And finally, then we'll have some Q&A. So please do drop any questions you have in the Q&A, and we'll pick them up at the end. And just so you know, for you and your colleagues, we're also recording this webinar, so it'll be available on our website and on our LinkedIn as well, if you want to come back at a later date to watch it as well. So Planquest, Google Maps for your site. So essentially what we do is we map out all your site. You tell us the systems, the safety systems that you want us to map, and we map all the locations of all the assets on them, and then we give you workflows that allows you to expedite your alarm response times, and in other cases your asset management or your asset tracking. But today we're going to talk about alarm response times. So you can see there we work with some of the world's leading pharma and biomedical companies. We also have some confidential oil and gas clients as well. Essentially, we route and navigate you to any alarm or asset in your facility in the optimal and safest route. Optimal and safest is one of our core selling points, so we'll take a deep dive on that later. And essentially what we do is we leverage and visualize data from your existing systems and drawings and synthesize it into something that's a lot more user-friendly. So for example, if you can imagine 20 years ago you had a road atlas, now you have Google Maps. So we do the exact same for all your documentation on site. We turn that into a modern day Google Maps for your site. And that gives the visual context to your operations. And probably with reference to the road atlas or to the drawings, we're brownfield optimized. So it's very easy to digitize something that's brand new. We know from looking at some of the sites of the people who signed up for this webinar, your sites are in existence for a long time. And it's very difficult to digitize something that's quite old, but that's where we excel. So we work quite closely with a lot of companies to digitize their brownfield facilities. So why does efficiency matter? Why do we need to respond quickly? So we have two graphs here. The first one is the correlation between between response times and the likelihood that an event or a fire will become large or major. And the second graph is the correlation between response times and the actual financial impact of an event. So you can see that the correlation is positive. Unfortunately, it's up and to the right. So the longer it takes you to respond to something, the more likely that you're going to have impacts on your business continuity, on your output, on your production, on your uptime, and ultimately on the safety of your workforce as well. So it is really well worth investing in trying to get these response times down, investing in the training and in the competency of your staff as well. And we feel, and our clients feel, that PlanQuest is an excellent tool that hits all those big aspects that are going to impact your business continuity and the safety of your people, plant, and process as well, ultimately. So the challenges, your sites are very large and complex. Look, I've worked on sites with upwards of 5, 6, 7,000 safety devices that are capable of raising an alarm. So when you have response teams being drawn from all across your site, you have some people maybe working in labs, some people working in production operations, some people simply just based in offices on site. And when you muster all these people together, quite often they're not familiar with the actual large process parts of the plant, and quite often they get lost. And the alarm tags have no context a lot of the time, so they have no actual location context. You could have an alarm tag that says there's an alarm on P3741B, and to the uninitiated, that might mean absolutely nothing, and it bears no real world relationship to the alarm. And because of that, people don't know the quickest way to get there. They're often relying on tacit knowledge. And I suppose finally, the systems and the drawings that are used, so they're very complex. It's looking at complex CAD drawings, complex graphic user interfaces that aren't really optimized for, I suppose, the worker in the year 2024. So, and that all of these issues and challenges really build and start to compound. And something that could take 5-6 minutes to respond to, you're getting to that 15 minutes where if you don't get to an alarm within 15 minutes, you're looking at evacuating part or all of your site. And as quickly as it takes to shut down a plant or a process, it takes about 10 times longer to restart it and to get back to a steady state. So again, I'm quite familiar with these challenges. So PlanQuest does something very simple for your site. We visualize and map all of your fire and safety systems, and we reduce response times and prevent evacuations. So that's worth noting. Reduce response times and prevent evacuations. We provide the optimal and safest route to the location of an alarm. So obviously we give the shortest route, but the shortest route quite often isn't the safest route. So when we're doing a deployment for your site, what we do is we customize the site in conjunction with you, and you get to assign rules and attributes to every area of your site. And we have a routing engine that takes these into account. So, for example, you might want to avoid confined spaces, hazardous areas with certain chemicals. And likewise, if somebody is going to an area with certain attributes attributed to it, you want them to know that. You want them to know that this alarm has been sounded in a confined space or at height, or there are certain gases present in the area. Because before you go out, it gives you that bit of extra context so that you can actually prepare adequately. It's also worth noting that our navigation on the tablet works without any network or cellular coverage. So your plant could be in the middle of a major incident where you have no signal. You could be below deck in an FPSO or an FLNG, or you could simply be in a part of your manufacturing facility that has no signal. It's one of these dead zones, and we will route you 100% of the time to the right location. And finally, I suppose the application is compatible with desktop, Android, and iOS on tablet. So that means you can do simulations, command and control from your desktop, and people in the field are free to use it as well. So that's quite useful. So there's two ways to work. I'm sure a lot of you will be familiar with what we term the old way. So short process here. So your alarm is raised. People respond and muster to the ERT station. The the alarm ID or tag is read from the panel. And this is where it starts to get interesting, because people say, where is that? What is it? So then the folder comes out, or they start navigating through screens, and they're going through it, going, where is this asset? Where is this alarm? And once they find the page it's on, it's then down to their own knowledge of the site to try and navigate to where it is. And once they get there, responders are often unaware of the alarm and the access requirements of actually how to get there, how to find it within the area. With PlanQuest, it's very easy. It's just like Google Maps. The alarm is raised. You simply type in the ID of your asset into the tablet. It gives you the optimal and safest route to it. And while you're on the way, it also tells you what access requirements you need in order to get there ahead of time. So I'll just go into a demo here now, and it will kind of bring you through the mobile and the web portion of it. So, okay, this is a demonstration of the PlanQuest tablet application. So this is a typical plant, or demonstration plant. So you can see we've got buildings, we've got tank farms, we've got utilities on the right. You can zoom in, zoom out, you can pan around the map. So let's assume you have an alarm on a smoke detector. Let's say you're at the ERT station. So you can see the autocomplete here as I type. So 20004 ERT station, and we're going to L9138. So you can see everything is sorted alphanumerically here as well. You could keep typing, or you could just use the scroll. So what we do when we're doing a deployment for any site is we customize every area of the site and we add attributes to it. So you can see here now that the system tells you that you require a PPE, a permit to work, where you're going is in a confined space, and you need hearing protection. All very useful information you need before you go out to attend to an event or an alarm. So the blue is where you are, the red is where you're going. You can see on the left here, this route contains multiple levels. So it starts on the ground floor, then it goes to level 1. And you can see once I hit stage 1, it brings you straight through the plant to your stairs. And then it brings you up the stairs and to your smoke detector. We have a pop-out panel here that gives you information on the asset itself. It's the smoke detector. It's manufactured by Siemens. It's in Building 9 drug production on the first floor in the plant room, and that's a drawing that you can find it on as well. We'll just do another route here just to show you some more capability. So let's say we want to go to a HCl tank. You can see there I just typed in a few letters as part of the official name of the asset, and it found it for me. So again, you can see you need PPE, permit to work, authorized personnel only, and being a tank farm, quite often they're ATEX environments or hazardous areas. So blue is where you are, green is where you're going. Stage 1, follow a route towards your destination. So you can see here it gives you a route to the exact location of your event. So you can imagine how much time you're saving here by not having to leaf through drawings. It's that kind of instant information that you need. So I'd say when you get there, you decide, okay, I need a fire hydrant, maybe to fight a fire. So you can see now that we actually give you a secondary route and show you the closest fire hydrant. So that works for any other type of emergency equipment as well. So I could hit first aid kit. Also, there's a first aid kit happens to be in the same place as the fire hydrant, which will be normal as well. Okay, this is a quick demonstration of the PlanQuest web application. So this application works in tandem with the mobile application. So any changes that you make here continue through to the mobile application. So the first thing you can see here is this is our demonstration plant here. So there's a few ways you can interact with the system. The easiest way is to just click on a room or an area. So if we click this room here, you can see it's an open office, and you can see that we've got various assets in here. We've got spill kits. We have some man down beacons. We have some powder fire extinguishers, and we also have a smoke detector. So as I zoom in here, you can see the pins showing exactly where the assets are in the room. And here we've got 2 fire extinguishers on the wall beside each other. So a very easy way to initially interact with the system. The other thing you can do is you can just type in an asset ID. So you can say L4022. So you can see here, it's a smoke detector, it's a Siemens detector, it's in building 4 drug production on the ground floor. You can see it's in the review space 3D. And as you zoom in, you can see exactly where it is. Very useful for training and onboarding staff, getting them to know different rooms and areas. And the final thing you can do then is you can filter for different types of assets, different systems, whether they're fixed or mobile assets, by level, by area. So if we just take a broad brush stroke here and we say we want to find all of the heat detectors. So you can see we found 48 heat detectors across the site. Again, you can view the information on them as well by just expanding this. Or you could say, show me all of the heat detectors in building 3 utilities. Or we go smoke detectors. So you can see down this building here, you can see all the smoke detectors. Again, very easy, very nice for training and onboarding staff, and then familiar with your site. Other features we have here then is customizations that we do during deployment for your site. You can customize, you can see different types of areas or rooms within your site. You can look at ATEX areas, noisy areas, production areas, welfare areas, where you need PPE, maybe where all your defibrillators are, that kind of information as well. Okay, so just to take a quick deeper dive on some of our deployments, you can see some of the customers that we work with here, very large production sites. As I said, we also work with some large oil and gas facilities. So on average, you're looking at around 4,000 or 5,000 fire and gas detectors across the site. I suppose what's key here is that there are multiple level sites, so they're very complex, and we've removed all unnecessary evacuations since deployment. Some evacuations that can't be avoided, obviously, but when a detector goes into fault, once a detector goes into fault, you have 15 minutes to actually get to it before it becomes a confirmed fire or event and leading to an evacuation or a shutdown. So really what PlanQuest is key to here with these unnecessary evacuations is we for all these sites in 3 years, they've had no unnecessary evacuations. So that means all detectors have been reached in 15 minutes or less, meaning that there's been no unnecessary evacuation. So that's huge for business continuity, production uptime, and site safety. So a deep dive on one of our clients. We've got 5 or 6 of these client sites, of this company's sites, live on PlanQuest. Before PlanQuest, when an alarm was raised, they had about 150 drawings in an A3 folder, and led to huge delays in locating alarms, and the site had about 2 or 3 unnecessary evacuations per month because they were going above that 15-minute threshold. So with PlanQuest, there's been no evacuations since deployment. The ERT team are much more confident and much more better prepared. They're using it for training and familiarization of ERT team members and actually other team members on site. And they're also using it as a response tool as well, which is what it was designed for. And it's become critical to their operations. Finally, I suppose, is how long until you can see the benefits, and what does that deployment look like for your site? Well, first and foremost, it's worth mentioning that your site can be done fully remote. All we need from your site is your fire system layout drawings and some plot plans, and it's really just a four-step process then to get you up and running. It takes about 4 to 5 weeks. We create the maps, we customize them and personalize them in conjunction with you. It takes a few hours on your side. We then map out all your assets for the specific safety systems that you might want to map out. There's a remote commissioning and deployment phase, and then there's a system handover. As I said, 4 to 5 weeks, fully remote. And that's it. We'll open the floor to some Q&A here now. You can email me at gerard@planquest.com. So if you want a personalized demo for you or your site, we can do that. You can also reach out to us if you want an ROI calculator for your site as well. And I think the first question I can see here is about the webinar being recorded. Yes, the webinar is being recorded, and we'll share that with you once we get it live and edit it. Thank you.
Perfect. I see there's one or two other questions there. Just before we get to them, Ger, we had a couple sent to us earlier on as well. So would the system work below deck in an offshore situation? I know you addressed it there, but let's pay some attention to it.
Yeah. So the system actually, obviously the navigation element of the system doesn't require any GPS signal or any hardware to be installed within your facility. So what it does is it gives you a route to and from where you are. So yes, it fully works below deck, in a module, underground, wherever. Yeah.
Perfect. And then just one other one here as well. Have you ever integrated, or has PlanQuest ever integrated with a fire and gas system?
Yeah, we've integrated with multiple fire and gas systems over the years. So we've integrated with Rockwell Systems, Siemens Systems, ABB Systems. So yeah, plenty of experience in integrating with fire and gas systems and surfacing alarms from these systems in PlanQuest and giving that kind of visual context as to where the alarm is being created and allowing people to navigate to them.
Perfect. Let's see what other ones we have here. Another one here for you. So does PlanQuest allow you to locate EH assets that may move around the site?
Yeah. So once PlanQuest is installed on your site, we also offer an extension that allows you to track mobile assets across your site. So you might want to track defibrillators or specific types of gases or other pieces of safety equipment. So yeah, definitely it's quite easy to search, locate, and navigate to moving assets in your site.
Perfect. Let's see if there's any more. If any of our attendees have any questions, please put them into the comments just below the viewer on your LinkedIn. And if you don't have any questions right now and think of any, you can reach out to Ger at ger@planquest.com or get us at info@planquest.com as well.